How to simplify exponents if you have multiplication between exponents. Let's look at the following problem whereby we have 2 to the power of 2n multiplied with 4 to the power of n multiplied with 2 all divided by 16 to the power of n. So now the first thing that you do when you have exponents and you have multiplication and division, you always make sure that the bases are in prime numbers. So now if you look at this base of 2 is a prime number, but now this base of 4, we can change it and write it as a prime number. And then also the base of 16, we can change it and write it as a prime number. So now how do you do that? You're going to say now, okay, this one that has prime numbers, you just leave them as they are. So we have 2 to the power of 2n. And then this 4 here can be written as a base of prime number of 2. So it's going to be 2 to the power of 2, which is the same thing as n. And then you put your n outside, and then you multiply with the 2 because it already has the base of 2. And then at the bottom, 16 is the same thing as 2 to the power of 4. Then you have to multiply it with n. So if you don't know how to write a number with the base of a prime number, on your calculator, you just type whatever number you are looking for. Let's say you want 4, you're going to say 4. And then you say equal sign, and you say shift fact, and then the calculator is going to give you this answer in an exponential form. And then the base will be a prime number. So after you have done that, you just have to do what? To now simplify, to remove the bracket. So now remember the law that says if you have the exponent outside, the exponent will multiply with the exponent of everything inside. So we just simplify this here. We're going to have 2 to the power of 2n multiplied 2 multiplied by n. So that's going to be 2 to the power of 2n again. And then we have this 2 here. Remember, if you just have 2, this is to the power of 1. Therefore, at the bottom, you just have 2 to the power of what? 4 multiplied by n. So that's going to be 4n. And therefore, when you multiply the same bases, you keep the base the same, and then you add the exponent. So this is going to be what? It's going to be 2n plus 2n, which is going to be 4n. And then you also have to add this one of 2 here. And then this is going to be plus 1. And then this is all divided by what? By 2 to the power of 4n. Okay? So now, when it comes to this point here, there's many ways you can do this. But the easiest way is just to say, okay, if you have the same base, you are going to subtract the exponents, because when you divide numbers with the same base, you keep the base the same and you subtract the exponents. So now what we can say here, we can say what? Okay, we are dividing the same bases, so we're going to keep the base of 2 the same, and then we say now we start with the exponent of the top. At the top we have 4n plus 1, and then we minus the exponents of the same base that is at the bottom of the fraction. So in this case it's just 4n. And then you will see now 4n minus 4n is just going to give us, we are going to be left with 1 here. So the answer that we get for this problem is just going to be 2. So now let's try the next problem and apply the very same method. So we can see on the next problem, we are just having what? A multiplication and division between what? Between exponents. So we are going to say now the first thing that we can do here is write everything that has a base of not a prime number as a base of a prime number. For example, if you look at 9 here, 9 is not a prime number. So we are going to say what? A 9 equals shift fact, and then the calculator will give it as a prime number. Same as 15, okay? So now how do we do that? We're going to now say 5 is already as a base of a prime number. So we are just going to say now we have a 5 to the power of 2x minus 1. And therefore now if you put it on your calculator for the base of 9, 9 will change to be what? To be 3 to the power of 2. But now remember, all must multiply with the exponent of what? Of x minus 2. And then you divide this, and then at the bottom here, if you do your calculator, shift 15 equal sign, and then you say shift fact, you will see now 15 can be written as 3 multiplied by 5, okay? And then you just put that in your brackets, and then you have what? 2x minus 3. So now what you have to do now at the next step, you just simplify what? Your bracket. So in this case, we have these 2 brackets. So the first 5 is just going to drop as it is. We have 5 to the power of 2x minus 1. And therefore, in this case, remember the exponent will multiply with exponent today. So this will mean now 2 will multiply with x, and then a 2 will multiply with -2. So we are just going to have the base of 3, and then 2 multiplied by x is going to be 2x. 2 multiplied by -2, that's going to be -4. And then we have all divided by what? Okay, so remember this exponent of 3 here is 1, exponent of 5 is 1. If there is no exponent written, we know that is 1. And remember now, the law of exponent, say now if you have exponent outside and then you just have multiplication inside, this exponent will multiply with what? With the exponent of everything that is inside. So now the 3 here is going to multiply with the exponent that is outside. So it's going to be 1 multiplied with 2x minus 3, which is just going to be the same as 2x minus 3. And therefore, you're going to do the very same thing for 5. You're going to say now, okay, this is 1 multiplied by 2x minus 3. So that's going to be 2x minus 3. So now if we have everything as a base of a prime number, what we can do, we can just skip and go to that step of ours. We say now, okay, if we have the same basis and then we are dividing, we are going to keep the base the same and subtract the exponent. So now it doesn't matter which one you start with. So in this case, we're just having 5 as the first base here. We're just going to say, okay, the base of 5, we write it down. But now the exponent at the top is what? Is 2x minus 1. So you're just going to say 2x minus 1. And therefore you say now, what is the base of 5 that is at the bottom? The base of 5 that is at the bottom is this one here. And then the exponent is 2x minus 3. So you're going to say minus and open the bracket minus the exponent that is at the bottom, because it's two numbers here. So you're going to have 2x minus 3. And then you are done with the base of 5. So after you are done with the base of 5, you're going to say multiply with what? With the base of 3. You have now the base of 3 here. So you're going to say multiply with the base of 3. And then at the top, you just write the exponent as it is. So we have 2x minus 4. So now when we continue here, we are going to say now, okay, remember now this is dividing with the same thing that has the same base at the bottom. So now what is going to happen is that the exponent at the bottom will minus. So we're going to say we have minus 2x minus 3. And therefore now if we have this, we can just simplify our exponents and try to get the final answer. So now what we will have here is just going to be a 5 to the power of 2x minus 1. And then remember now when you remove the bracket, the negative will multiply there and multiply there. So we are going to have what? Negative 2x. Negative by negative, that's going to be positive 3. And then we have what? We have again the base of 3. We do the very same thing here. Okay, I'm sorry about this. Remember, you have to put this inside the bracket when you subtract the exponent that has two numbers. So now we remove the bracket, so we're going to have 2x minus 4. And therefore you say negative multiplied by 2x and negative by negative 3. So that's going to be negative 2x, and then we have plus 3. So now we can add the like terms and simplify further. So now what we will have is that we say now this is 2x and this is 2x. So that means 2x minus 2x, they will cancel out. And then we are having negative 1 plus 3. So negative 1 plus 3 is the same thing as 5 to the power of 2. And therefore now you come to the 3 here. On the 3 here, the very same thing happens. 2x minus is with negative 2x. Then you're just having negative 4 and 3. So negative 4 plus 3 is just going to give us negative 1. Okay, and then now if you have the exponent of a negative number, remember you can just bring it down to the denominator. So now what we will have is just going to be 5 squared all divided by 3 to the power of positive 1. Remember now when this comes to the bottom, the exponent changes to be a positive 1. So now this is just a positive 1 there. And then this is the same thing as 25 over 3. And now 25 over 3, it can be written as 25 over 3, I don't know if it can be simplified, but you can just try to put that in your calculator. But I think this cannot be simplified, so this is our final answer. So that is all for this video. Thank you very much.